Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome again. Of course, we always begin with a welcome. Welcome once again to a Kleinial Masterclass, where we're going to take a look at certain things. We're going to understand things about digital assets in general, of course, focusing on crypto and forex. And we are going to understand financial freedom or risky gamble because that's a question that so many of us have. These are questions that we've asked ourselves several times. We've asked, is getting into crypto, getting into forex, investing in digital assets, is it just is it financial freedom? Is it going to lead to you having some sort of freedom? Or is it a risky gamble? Is it a place where you just go, you dump all your money, you lose all your money, and then you're back to square one? We want to understand that. That's the reason why we're in the session. Of course, that's something that we think about so many times. So we're going to explore all of that. We're also going to take a look at how you can get started. We're going to take a look at facts, not just things that I think, not just things that Kleinial think, but we're going to take a look at the market in a whole and understand if this is something viable or not. So if you know someone that has been looking to get into crypto, get into forex, or understand digital assets in general, you can just send them the link to this session so they can join in. So in the next hour, they get to understand what's really out there. Okay, so that's what we're going to be exploring again today. So like I said, if you know anyone that would love to be in a session like this, all you need to do, just send them the link. So we don't waste time, let's get into it, because there's a reason why we're here. Again, there's a reason why you joined the call, and that is to actually understand the financial market, right? So financial freedom or risky gamble. Understanding the crypto market is getting into crypto, getting into forex, getting into digital assets. Is it going to grant you freedom? Is it going to give you that other stream of income that you've been looking for? Or is it just a trap? Okay, a trap that you don't want to get into. We're going to explore all of that. But first and first, probably this is the first time you're joining a session that has been held by Kleinial, and you might be wondering, what is Kleinial? Who is Kleinial? Which is Kleinial? How is Kleinial? Okay, so Kleinial is a data company, and what we do is that we help you understand how you can navigate through the world of Web3, cryptocurrency, forex, and all of that. The reason we started Kleinial is that we saw that out there's really no place that you can get the information that you need. There's really no place where you can learn about digital assets the right way. You see several things. You see several ads on Instagram or on X or Facebook. You see several ads. You see people saying things like, this my Lambo. It's usually a Lamborghini. Okay, you see this my Lambo. I bought this Lambo 2 weeks after I got into crypto, or I bought this house 2 days after I got into crypto. And that if you don't have this, you don't know what you're doing. There was even one I saw one time. The guy said that if you as a man, okay, and this was what the ad said, not me now. The ad said that if you as a man, you're not driving a Lamborghini, that you don't actually know what you are doing. So there's so many misinformation out there, and that so many people fall prey to. I for one, when I wanted to get started in crypto forex, I had some money and I decided, okay, you know what, I want to invest this, and there was really no place that I could learn appropriately. Yeah, I saw different Telegram channels. It's usually Telegram. I saw different Telegram channels telling me of sending different signals but there's no place that you could understand how the skill, because something that I knew, something that we've come to see at Kleinial, something that we are trying to educate each and every one of you on, is that getting into forex, getting into crypto is actually a transition. It's like you're transitioning into tech, because it is a tech skill, meaning that there's a right way for you to learn. There are certain things you need to understand before you actually go about starting to invest. It's because it's not all about just downloading an application and start buying coins. No, that's a shortcut to do, right? So that's what Kleinial is here for, to help you understand, especially people between the ages of 25 to 30 to 35, 40, 45, 50, millennials, people that have their 9 to 5 that really want to get into this, but it's not all about the hype out there, but they really want to understand what this is all about and how they can get started. So that's what we at Kleinial strive to achieve, also helping people people see how they can be financially wise and also have a passive stream of income. So yeah, that's about Clineo. Enough of that. I'm Aisha as well. Aisha Agmalaho. I'm the founder of Clineo, and I have experience in Forex and blockchain, close to a decade experience, of course, and also in data as well. And that's where I started. That's where I got the money that actually lost in crypto. Right? But yeah, so that's about me. But moving forward, because you are not here to look at my face, you are not here to listen to me. You are actually here to you're actually here to understand certain things, right? So what are we taking a look at? The section today is actually divided into three sections, okay? Divided into three sections. So the first thing we take a look at is, will digital assets actually lead to financial freedom or a risky gamble? Okay, we take a look at the market. We take a look at my understanding. Of course, like I said, 10 years, close to a decade experience in tech. And in that decade of experience in tech, about 4 years in crypto and Forex, right? So I want to take a look at things from my experience and take a look at things from the markets. So we actually understand digital assets, is it financial freedom or a risky gamble? We understand the OA Forex analysis and OA sports analysis and how you can actually achieve success. And of course, we also take a look at how you can get started immediately. That's the cohort that's starting in June. But yeah, straight into it. It's the crypto market, the Forex market. Is it actually something that you should be getting into, or is it not? Now, on the slides now, okay, you're gonna see several links. You're gonna get access to several articles, several publications. So if you know you're going to need access to the slides, all you need to do, just fill in the form, okay, the form that has been sent to the chat box by my colleague. Just click on that link, fill in the form, so you get access to the materials, the recordings, and everything that the session has to offer, right? So we take a look at facts first. We're going to use publications. We're going to use facts, articles to understand, is it financial freedom or risky gamble? So take a look at this article from Forbes. And once you get access to this slide, all you need to do, just click on this link. It will take you to the publication, right? I'm sure we all know Forbes, one of the most popular magazines out there. And they released a report at the early this year, that's January this year. And what the report actually showed that as at November 13th, 2024, that's a couple of months ago, the crypto market had a $349 billion volume. Okay, a $349 billion volume. And that was actually a 31.22% increase. In November, there was the crypto boom. People, if you follow the news, you hear things like, oh, crypto boom, oh, there was this happened, okay? So many terms that, of course, you get to have understanding of. But due to this, there was actually a $249 billion dollar increase when it comes to crypto. That's a 1.22% increase. And so many people, most people in the market actually benefited from this, because you had the market cap for Bitcoin increased, you had the market cap for Ethereum increase, you had the market cap for stable coins increase, and of course stable coins would also exploit that, right? And other coins out there. And what this actually shows was that there was a spectacular performance, meaning that for those that actually invested in crypto, for those that were actually trading Forex, for those that were actually had digital assets, that this period of time saw a significant increase in their investment. So a significant increase in the returns of their investment. So this is something that many people benefited from. And taking a look at this, okay, it's making sense. It actually seems that investing into digital asset, that getting started in this, that getting those tech skills is actually going to be worthwhile. That is going to lead to financial freedom. Because trust me, let's say you had some money invested in these coins during that time. When that increase came in, you are also going to make profits as well. So it's making sense, right? It is financial freedom. It is financial freedom. That's something that we've been able to see. And this is just one publication out there. I love to start things from facts and figures. Again, I don't just like to say, okay, this is what I think, this is what I think, because facts and figures make things easier to understand. And then, of course, I could tell you my opinion later on, after we've been able to come to a consensus about the situation of things. Okay, so This was the report from Forbes. It's a long read. It's not just this. It's a very long read. So as soon as you fill the form, you get access to the slides. Just come over here and click on this, okay? So you can read the entire thing. But the question that we're actually trying to answer today is it financial freedom or risky gamble? We've taken a look at one side of that. Now, for the other, from that same publication from Forbes, okay, that same publication, what that showed was that as at November 12, 2024, that was a couple of months ago, that $634 million had been liquidated across the crypto market. Let's take a recap, okay? Stay with me. Let's take a recap. I'm currently not with my pen, okay? So, anyways, I'll probably get that soon. So, let's look at a recap. As at November 12, 2024, $624 million has been lost. That's what liquidated means. Has been lost in crypto. And don't forget, as at November 13th, the crypto market was worth $349 billion. Okay, so again, as at November 13, 2024, the crypto market was worth $349 billion. And one day before, the crypto market had $634 million that had been lost, that had been liquidated. Liquidated means the amount went to zero. So what is this telling us? This is actually showing that, yes, crypto can actually offer financial freedom. Digital assets can offer financial freedom, but there's also a risk factor involved. There's also a factor involved where you lose money. I usually love to talk about the different kinds of investments we have, because many people out there, again, that's the reason why Kleiner is here, right? People out there, the Sigma bros, or these people that claim that, oh, they're making $50 million every 2 days, okay, with digital assets. The thing is like, okay, so this is just join my channel. Or it's usually Telegram. I don't know what's up with Telegram, but it's usually Telegram. I join my Telegram channel and I would show you how I make this in 2 days. I make this in a day. I make this in a day. And it seems like all you just have to do is just join, download the app. There's usually one app to download, probably download Binance. And once you download Binance, you just put in money, buy some coins, and then you become a millionaire. If that was the case, don't you think everyone would be a millionaire at the moment? So many people out there spread disinformation about what digital assets are all about. The first thing that you have to realize when you're trying to get into the space is that it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not a place where you put in it's not a place where you put in, let's say, $2 million, and then, once you put in that amount of money that you're now, or you put in 100,000 there or 50,000 there, okay, and then once you put in that amount of money that you're now going to become Dangote or Elon Musk. No, that's not how it works. Is there a tendency that you actually become Dangote? Yes, there is a tendency, but there's also equal amount of risks involved. Just like people were celebrating during the crypto boom that, we made a lot of money from crypto, you had people that were not celebrating, people that had been liquidated, as you can see from the report on your screen. Getting into the space, you have to ensure that you are not just a crypto trader, but that you are actually a crypto analyst. Or, as they call it, a spot analyst. What does spot analyst mean? Spot is actually like talking about the crypto market and other markets involved, from literally good to crypto markets. That you are actually an analyst, or that when you're getting into Forex, that you are actually a Forex analyst. So what is the difference between being an analyst and the difference between just downloading an application, like the way probably Jasmine would do, or the way Bola would do, or Kunle would do? I hope we don't have a Kunle on the call. Okay, I don't think so. But the way this the general populace would do, just downloading an app and start buying coins and all of those kind of stuff. So what's not the difference between doing that and being a sports analyst? What's the difference between doing that and being a forex analyst? The difference is that as a sports analyst or as a forex analyst, that you actually have learned the skill. Don't forget, I mentioned something at the start of the session, that getting into crypto, getting into forex is actually a tech skill. So that means that if you want to actually start trading the right way, if you actually want to start making money the right way, you have to get the skills. You have to understand how to work with the different tools, such as your CoinMarketCap, your TradingView, your MT4. It's just like if I say I want to be a developer, I want to be a web developer or a data engineer, or I want to do something. You have to go and learn the skills. You want to be a software engineer, or probably I don't know, think of those skills. You have to go and learn how to all the different languages, from Python to HTML to CSS to how to code. That's what will give you the skill of not being able to function in that regards. And that is the same situation right now. So that means that if you do not have the skills, then you are actually not a sports analyst. You are actually not a forex analyst, and you are just making you're just gambling. Okay, that's what I'm just going to say. Okay, so what we've been able to see is that it's a skill that you have to learn, and that yes, it offers financial freedom, right? You can get financial freedom. For myself and many of us at Kleinial, we can attest to the fact that yes, crypto forex can actually give you financial freedom. But just like it can give you financial freedom, it can also make you lose a lot of money. Something that people don't tell you is that everyone loses money in crypto. Everyone loses money in forex. But what actually makes a difference? I have lost money as well. I've lost a lot of money, okay, especially at the start when I did not have any knowledge. What makes you different? Okay, what makes you get that financial freedom and not falling into the part of the risky gamble is your ability to actually make more profit than losses. Because when you make more profits than losses, that means you make profit. And for something that we have to understand is that there are different kinds of investments, as I said earlier. And for every investment, there's a risk factor involved. You have investment like your conservative investment, your moderate investment, and your aggressive investment. Conservative investment is talking about things like when you want to invest in real estate. I love using real estate as an example. There are several kinds of conservative investment, but real estate is something that I believe everyone will be able to understand, will be able to relate to. So when you invest in real estate, you buy land from a certain location. The chance of you losing your money is very low, except if you buy land in a place that's prone to natural disasters. So the chance of you losing your money is very low. Okay, but for you to get returns from your land, for you to make money from that land, you have to spend a long period of time. Okay, so you have to spend a long period of time for you to get returns from that land. Conservative investment is talking about conservative investment is talking about investments that you can get into, and that the chance of you losing your money is very low, but the chance of you making money, the chance of you losing your money is very low, but for you to make returns, you have to spend a long period of time to make returns, or you make small returns in a long period of time. For example, another kind of conservative investment is your mutual funds. In your mutual funds, the different sections of mutual funds. The particular kind of mutual fund that is your conservative is now when you're talking things like your treasury bills and your investment paper. So that means that if you go ahead, so let's say you invest, okay, you buy mutual funds, then in a year, so let's say you put in 100,000, use 100,000 and buy mutual funds. In a year, you get something like 19%, 20%, 21% returns. So that means that you get 120,000 at the end of the year in 1 year. You put in 100,000. You get 120,000 in 1 year, not in 30 days or in 2 days, in 1 year. But the chance of you losing that 100,000 is very, very low. That's conservative. Then aggressive means that the chance of you making a lot of money is high. You can just put in let's say 100,000 today, and in 2 days, in 3 days, in 1 week, or in a month, you can get 100% returns, 200% returns. That's you get 200,000, 250,000. That's aggressive. But just like it's very easy for you to make a lot of money in aggressive investment, it's also equally very easy for you to lose a lot of money. So there's the risk factor and there's the earning factor, and then you have moderate, which falls in between. So every kind of investment that you get into, there's actually an element of risk. There's any person that will tell you that this is what you need to do, that just come over and invest, and you're going to get 100% return on investment. That's 100% ROI in 30 days without any chance of you losing your money. That person is a big fat liar. There's nothing like that. For example, we all know about the CBEX scam. Okay, so if you're in Nigeria and you've been following the situation of things, I'm sure you've heard of CBEX. And CBEX claims to be an AI trading platform. That's not trading. That's not a trading platform. Again, that's why Kleiner is here, to actually show you how you can trade and how you can make money from trading. But CBEX claimed to be a trading platform where you put in money, you don't even trade. Apparently, there's this bot that trades for you. Okay, and so you get, and that you are guaranteed to get 100% returns in what? In 30 days. That means that if you have $1 million and you put in $1 million, in 30 days you're going to get $2 million, and there's no chance you're not going to lose your $1 million. You're going to get $2 million in 30 days. That's what CBEX claimed, and of course we all know how that ended up. So there's no such investment. Every investment carries some sort of risk. Okay, I talked about the conservative, the moderate, and the aggressive. So that's the situation. That is the situation. Financial freedom or risky gamble. Now that we've mentioned that, you might now be wondering, okay, so I've been able to see that, yes, crypto, forex, okay, can actually get me that passive stream of income I'm looking for. Because at Clannel, we don't advise people to quit their 9 to 5 to get into crypto. That's not advisable. Except maybe you've made a lot of money and you feel, okay, now you're comfortable, but yeah, you don't want to quit your 9 to 5. But we'll get into that anyways. So maybe right now you're thinking, so should I invest or not? Should I actually invest in this or not? Now that we have seen that, yes, it can offer financial freedom in a very, very long way. Imagine, look at the amount of money actually in the crypto market in November. And at the moment, it's now even different. Okay, it's getting higher and higher as time goes by. So should I invest or should I not? How can you make that decision? It's easy. Now, let's take a look at the situation of not actually investing. Everyone saves. Everyone loves to save. I save as well. Okay, saving is great. Saving is amazing. Saving is sweet. But saving is not going to make you succeed. Saving is not going to make you rich. Saving is not going to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And why? Because when you save money in the bank, your money actually goes down in value due to inflation. Inflation is a constant thing. It's not something that's going to change. The new government right now is not going to change inflation. The government that's coming in next, the next administration is not going to change that. There's always going to be inflation. And it's not just in Nigeria alone. It's not just, oh, Nigeria is doing poorly. Every part of the world, there is inflation. A healthy economy, note, a healthy economy, that is an economy that does not actually have, an economy that is doing well, as they'll say, okay? An economy that is doing well, a healthy economy actually has a 2% inflation, okay? Every country is trying to get a 2% inflation yearly, because inflation is somewhat good for the economy, okay, due to money flow. And anyways, that's a discussion for another day. But most countries, that's not the case. For example, take a look at the report from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay, the report from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and this is from the CBN website. So you can get this from the CBN website. This actually shows the inflation rate from December last year, January, and February this year. And what you see is that in all items, you had at least in February, you had a 23.18% increase. Okay, when you take a look at the food increase, you had a 34% increase in February. What that means is that if you actually placed, let's say you saved ₦1 million in the bank, okay, and then at the end of the year, you get maybe a 2% interest or 2% interest from your bank, then what would happen? What would happen is you'd now have $1,020,000, right? And the thing is, that money is actually reduced in value because when you actually saved what ₦1 million could buy, when you eventually withdraw, it's not going to be the same. When you save, probably you could use ₦1 million to buy 8 bags of cement. Okay, when you the next year, this time next year, you're not going to be able to use that money to get that same amount, that same number of bags, right? You're not going to be able to use get that. Take a look at current markets. You'd see the price of everything is increasing, the price of food is increasing, and that is going to continue. It's not like, oh, a preacher of doom. No, it's not like I'm being a preacher of doom. It's the current situation. It's in the entire world. It's not just Nigeria, it's the entire world. Take a look at the US, for instance. In the 90s, in the 80s, you could use about $5 to get about 28 counts of milk. Right now, it's not the same situation. That's in the US. I'm not talking about Nigeria now. So there's always going to be inflation. So you saving alone, you're just saving your entire, just saving everything in the bank alone is not going to help you achieve what you want to achieve. It's not going to be able, it's not going to make you rich because people think, oh, I'll save, I'm going to save and save and save, and I'll get rich. No, that's not how it works. And this is from the central bank. This is not me saying this now, it's from the CBN. So you can take a look at this yourself. So now that we've understood this, okay, so I should say, I've heard you. Saving is good, but you don't want to just be saving your entire income, right? So what should I now do? I hear you. Yes, I hear you. But should I actually now get into crypto or Forex? Because you've not convinced me yet. No problem. Let's move on. So just last year, the ISA, that's the Investment in Securities Act, actually signed the SEC, that's the Federal Bank of Nigeria, working with the SEC, that's the Security Exchange Commission, actually signed the ISA 2025. That's the Investment in Securities Act 2025. And what this act shows is that for the first time ever, this act contains a lot of things, from the fact that Ponzi scheme is now a very, very big crime in Nigeria, and that there's a stiff penalty and several other things. But one aspects that I would like you to take a look at is the fact that for the first time ever, Nigeria actually now recognizes virtual and digital assets like cryptocurrencies as securities. And that's huge because sometime last year, even at the start of the year, if someone has told you that the federal government of Nigeria is going to recognize cryptocurrency or is going to recognize digital assets, I'm pretty sure you'd say it's never going to happen. Looking at the fact that the government is very, very conservative somewhat. So you would believe that, oh, this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen. It's all fiction. But apparently, that is not the case. So why did the federal government now decide to actually sign this into law? That's saying that there is a future in crypto, and that many parts of the world have already moved into trying to find ways that they can integrate this into their platforms, and we don't want to be left behind in Nigeria. This was carried out by so many newspapers. It's out there. So just do your little research, or once you get access to the slides, just open this up, click on this, okay, to read the entire report. On how to read the entire report on the ISA, what it offers and what it means for you. So this is now showing that yes, there is actually a future here, and this is something that you should be looking to get into to actually achieve your dreams. So now that we've been able to establish this fact, how then are you going to succeed? Because we've understood that it's a skill. It's not just downloading an application. And I keep using this because I get many people reach out to me or send me messages and like, oh, I just want to get started. I downloaded Binance. What's the next thing I need to do? And the next thing I tell them is, it seems you want to lose your money. Because if you don't have an understanding, just downloading Binance and downloading and buying coins is only going to lead to terrible things. Don't forget what we've mentioned earlier. Yes, it can offer financial freedom, but there's also a tendency, or there's also an element of risk involved. So how can we now help you? What's now the strategy that will help you to succeed in trading digital assets, if that's what you actually want to get into, if that's an area that you're actually looking to explore? It's easy. The first thing that you have to do is that you have to identify the path for you, because so many people don't understand that there's a difference between Forex and crypto. And that's the reason why we have sessions like this, to educate you, for you to understand that this is the situation of things. This is the difference between getting into crypto, and this is the difference between getting into Forex. So you have to identify the path for you. And then the next thing that you do is you have to learn the skills. You have to learn the skills in the right manner. Learning in the right manner. And how do you learn in the right manner? Easy. You have to be in a classroom, like in a classroom setting, where the facilitator is speaking, the facilitator is teaching you how you can use the different tools, how you can carry out your analysis, and you are also learning, you are asking questions, and you are gaining the skills. Learning in the sense that learning in a way where you have like the Go classroom, where all of your materials are stored, all of the materials, all of the session recording, places that you can easily get back to have to, like, for you to have a recap of everything that was taught in class. Or maybe you missed the class, you know that there's a place that you can get to access recordings of that session. And not that, oh, there's just this call that will be made on the Telegram channel for you to join the Telegram call, and then that is not how you want to learn. So you want to actually learn the skills the right way. Then the practice simulation. The practice simulation where you are practicing what you've learned without any risks involved. We've been able to establish that yes, you can make money, but you can also lose money. So that means that if you don't have experience, you want to at least try to test things out, right? You actually want to test things out before you go about, before you get into the market. So you've learned the skills. You've learned how to work with your MT4. That's your MT4 for integration and migration. That's your MT4 for your trading, right? And then you've learned how to work with your Mexi Global. You've learned how to work with all of these things. But before you actually get into the market, it would make sense that you want to test, like practice, okay? Practice without any string attached. So the practice simulation would offer you a chance to carry out your analysis, to trade, lock in your trade using all of the skills that you've learned, and then you'd get to see, because the simulation, while it's a simulation, is also tied to what? To real happenings. That means that while you are practicing, if you lock in a trade and you make money from that trade, due to the fact that it's a practice simulation, you're not going to be making money because you're going to be working with dummy, with dummy coins and all of that. But if you actually do get the trade right and you make a profit, that means that if you are carrying out that same trade using real tools, using real money, you would have made a profit. But if you actually do that, and you that's the practice simulation, and you lock in your trade, you do everything, you're practicing, you lock in your trade, and you make a loss, that means that if you had done something similar in the real world using real currency, that you would have also made a loss. But because it's a practice simulation, you're not making profit, you're not making losses. It's a risk-free environment for you to test everything that you've learned so far. That's another thing that you have to do. Then in addition to that, you have to have trade psychology and risk mastery. You have to what? You have to understand trade psychology, and you have to gain trade psychology and risk mastery. Because for you to succeed, it's not just downloading an application and start to trade. No, it's not just having the technical skills as well. I know I've talked about skills a lot now, but that's not the only thing that you also need to be able to succeed. You need the trade psychology and risk mastery, and the way that you can get that is by having one-on-one sessions with experts where you're asking questions, asking for advice, and having live trading analysis, to having sessions where you get to speak with investment bankers, with people that that with finance experts, people that would help you navigating financial investments and telling you the different financial investment that you can go into. Because at something that you want to do and something that we believe strongly at Clanion is that you don't want to place all your money in. You don't just want to probably you get your salary at the end of the month, okay, or you make profit from business and then you just put all the money into crypto or into forex. No, you don't want to do that. You want to have a balanced portfolio. So these sessions will come in and tell you that, and with expert telling you, okay, this is what you should, this is what works, this is what you should do, where you have a certain amount of money that goes into your savings. So maybe you want to save 30%, 40% of your income, whatever you decide. That's your traditional savings in the bank because you want to save. Then you want to have maybe another 10%, 15% going into your high yield interest savings account, which would be for emergency purposes. And then you want to have your another percentage going into your retirement accounts, probably looking at conservative investments such as the S&P 500 for those in the US, and also its equivalent in Nigeria, and how you can now invest maybe your 10% or 5% or whatever you decide on into your crypto, your forex, where you can also be making money from. So where you have a balanced portfolio, a diversified portfolio, because that's the way to actually make it, and not the fact that you just want to put all your eggs in one basket. So that's also important. That's what navigating financial investment will teach you. And of course, mentorship. All of those things put together would help you gain the trade psychology and the risk mastery, which I talked about earlier. So in addition to the technical skills that you'll be getting, that's what would actually get you success. And then you want to be able to network and have a balanced portfolio. Yeah, I already talked about the portfolio. Okay, but for networking, you want to be in the community that makes sense. You want to be in the community of like-minded individuals. You want to be in the community of people that are actually trying to achieve similar things as you, and not a community where the only thing that happens is people sending in screenshots of their vacation or screenshots of the new cars they bought using the money that they got from crypto or forex, and without really no way telling you, oh, this is what you need to do. But a community of people that also have families, people that also have their 9 to 5, people that are also doing things similar that you're doing, coming together, bringing minds together, talking about, okay, this is what we can do, this is what we can do, why don't we do this, why don't we do this? A community that makes sense. You want to be a part of that. And of course, your portfolio, very, very important for you to achieve success in trading. If you don't have a balanced portfolio, okay, if you don't have a balanced portfolio, the chance of you succeeding is low. Yeah, that's the truth. If you don't have that, if your income is not diversified across all of those things, from savings to your high yield interest savings account, okay, high yield interest savings account is different from your savings. I don't know if you guys know that. Okay, it's different. So most banks have high yield interest savings accounts. It's different from your savings, different from your current account. So you want to have that. Then your conservative investment, your aggressive investment, everything. You want to have all of that for you to be successful. So putting all of this together is what will now help you become an expert and get another stream of income. That's how you can become an expert. That's a 6-step strategy that would help you succeed when it comes to trading. So now that we've taken a look at that, you would now be wondering, who is the forex analyst there? So I understand how I can get into the market. I understand what I need to do to succeed in the market. I understand the fact that, yes, it can offer financial freedom, but there's also a risk involved. But I yet to understand, who is the forex analyst? What does that mean? What does it entail? A forex analyst is just like your weather forecaster. We all know the weather forecasters, and I like to clarify most of the time that the weather forecaster is not your it's not the newscaster. Okay, so you're listening to the news and you see this lady or this man come in and start telling you that it's going to rain tomorrow or not. That's not the weather forecaster. The forecasters are scientists that actually carry out different kinds of analysis, using tools, using research to predict what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. And that is the same thing as a forex analyst. Just like the weather forecaster, a forex analyst is also a forecaster, but for currency markets. A forex analyst is like a forecaster for currency markets. Like I said, currency markets such as your euro, your dollar, your naira, your yen, your CDs. Think currency, think forex. So just like the weather forecaster will predict that it's going to rain tomorrow, the forex analyst will predict that, oh, I feel dollar is going to go up against the euro tomorrow, or the euro is going to climb against the dollar tomorrow, or the yen is going to climb against the rupee tomorrow, or the naira is going to increase in value. All of those predictions based on analysis, based on different tools that has been carried out, based on different tools that has been used. Just like the weather forecaster is not just going to go to bed, download an application and tell you that, oh, it's going to rain tomorrow or not. No, but a lot of work is going to be done. That is something for a forex analyst, that they have to do a lot of work before they're able to determine that this is the case, this is what I feel the market is going to say, this is what is going to happen to this economy, and all of that. So to be a forex analyst, you have to be able to study the market, you have to understand the market, you have to be able to use technical analysis, you have to be able to predict opportunities, and you have to be able to and in addition to all of these things, then you can go ahead to lock in your trade. So to be a forex analyst, what you actually have to know, the tools that you actually have to work with, the skills that you actually have to gain, are skills from you understanding how you can work with your MT4, that's your MT4 for your MT4 integration and navigation, how you can carry out a technical, fundamental, and sentimental analysis. Technical analysis involving studying your charts, your patterns, and the fundamental analysis involves studying market news, okay, listening to the news, what's happening in this market, all of those things. So your candlestick and your chart patterns, your leverage, lot size and spread, your risk management strategies, your advanced trading strategies, your time frames and confluence, all of those things. This is what you need to be a forex analyst, and not an application that you download to start trading. So yes, the application is part of it, but there's a lot that has to do before you lock in your trade. So the tools that you'll be working with, the tools that you have to know, your MT4, your trading view, your MT5, your Mexi Global, your Forex Factory, just to name a few. These are the tools that you are actually going to need to learn how to use. And how will you learn? The learning timeline, it's for 2 months. You get to learn for 1 month. So you have a 1 month of learning, and you have 1 month of mentorship as well. Okay, 1 month of learning and 1 month mentorship. So during the month of learning, you have your classes from Saturdays and Sundays. That's Saturdays from 11 to 2 p.m. West African time, and then Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. West African time. Learning the right way. But for a sports analyst, who is a sports analyst? What does being a sports analyst mean? You know your gold traders. You probably heard of gold traders. What do gold traders do? Gold traders buy gold when gold is low, and they sell gold when gold is high. Okay, so they buy low, sell high for gold. So the crypto analyst is like the gold trader, but just like the gold trader trades gold, because that's trading, right? When you trade, it's just like your market. You go to the market to buy, let's say, food items, and what's that about? You buy at a certain price, and then you sell at a certain price, right? To get your profits. The normal market, the normal economics, right? So that's the gold trader. Just like the gold trader trades gold, the sports trader, that's the sports analyst, the crypto analyst trades what? Cryptocurrencies. They analyze cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your Solana in the spot market to understand, okay, I think this is going to go up, this what's going to happen, this what is going to happen, to make predictions and to make trades. And one major difference between the Forex market and the spot market is that the Forex market has a closing and opening time. The Forex market closes on Mondays and opens on Mondays and closes on Fridays. It's 24/5, 24 hours, 5 days. So that you can only trade Monday to Friday in the Forex market. That's the reason why you hear things like, if you listen to the news a lot, you'll hear things like the Forex market, this Nigerian stock market or opened at this amount, or this exchange market opened at this amount, because it opens and it closes. But for the spot market is 247, meaning you can trade at any time, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you decide. And just like the Forex analyst, the sports analyst also has to be able to carry out market research, also has to be able to know how to carry out technical analysis, has to know how to carry out fundamental analysis, and very, very important, must know how to manage risks. Okay, must know how to manage Risks. For you to be a sports analyst, what do you need to know? You need to understand your sports trading on centralized exchange and your sports trading on decentralized exchange. You have to understand the difference between decentralized and centralized, and how you can trade in both. So your staking, how you can stake. The way there are different ways to make money in sports. The only way to make money is not just by trading coins. You have different ways. You have things like your pre-sales, where you buy a coin before it's even launched. Okay, you have things like your staking. So it's not just there's a whole lot to learn. But then again, you have to get the skills. You have to carry out analysis before you even get into your pre-sales. To carry out your research on the organization that's backing that, on the people, the founders that are actually trying to launch that. You have to carry out your research. You have to be able to know what is going to happen in the market. That's why your narratives and your research is in there. Then you have your risk management to trading, your risk to reward ratio, and your position sizing. To how you can trade stocks versus trading crypto. What's the difference, and how can you benefit in both? Because they're different. They're different. Stocks is talking about your companies. Okay, you want to buy MTN stocks, or you want to buy Zenith Bank stocks, or you want to buy Dangote stocks, or maybe they're looking at foreign companies from Tesla to Nvidia, different companies. So that's all of this. All of this things you have to know. All of these things you have to be able to work on. The tools that you'll be working with, tools like your CoinGecko, to your DEX Screener, your Binance, your Exness, your CoinMarketCap, and your Bamboo, which is for trading stocks. So all of those tools are tools that you need to know how. You need to learn how to. You need to know how to use for your analysis and also for your trading. And the timeline similar timeline for you have 2 months of training, of learning, 1 month in class, and of course you have 1 month mentorship, with the timeline being from 11, that's classes on Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and on Sundays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. West African time. And so in addition to all of this, what would not make you different from others? Because then you might be wondering, okay, so I should have heard you, but I have a friend that actually decided to get into crypto, and since they got into crypto, they've never been the same. They've been losing money. They're actually going back to square one. Okay, so I know a friend that actually decided to start trading forex, okay, to buy stocks, but they're actually going back to square one. They're not moving forward. So what is now going to be the difference for me? How am I going to be positioned for success? How am I going to be able to achieve the goals that I set out for myself when I joined Clanion? For you to be able to succeed, you need to complete the success equation. And the success equation is the technical skills plus the trading psychology and risk mastery. That is what will give you success. For you to be able to succeed, you have to have your technical skills, understanding the tools, understanding the concept, all of those things I mentioned earlier. You have to have the trading psychology and the risk mastery. That's what will give you the other 50%, and 50 plus 50, that's 100. And that is success. So getting the technical skills is a given. That's something that you're going to get, of course, so that you are also able to get the other 50%. That's the reason why we have the additional services, the other services that you'll be getting, where services from one-on-one session with experts. Remember, all of this is to ensure that you get that other 50%. The one-on-one sessions with experts are sessions where you can go ahead to schedule a one-on-one. And when I mean one-on-one, I actually mean one-on-one. Now, these sessions are different from the classes. The one-on-one session where you're speaking with an expert, you're telling them, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Can you just give me advice? Of course, we are not financial advisors. There are financial advisors out there that are actually licensed to give financial advice, right? But we tell you that, okay, this is what we do. This is what works for us. And at the end of the day, you have, you make a decision. So because so many people, they don't have that guidance. They want to they want to get into something that might be so risky that they should not even get into it. And there's no one to tell them, oh, don't do this or do this, or, for them to have an understanding. So that's something that you can have. One-on-one session with experts. You can always book a session. You go to your Google Classroom. There's a link in there. Once you click on that link, it opens up the calendar, and then you take a look at where the facilitator is free, that's the expert, and when you are free as well, and then you book a time so that you can have advice and just see how you can go about things. 2, live trading analysis. The live trading analysis is a session where, or rather, there are sessions where the facilitator that's on the call is actually going to be trading, and you'll be trading alongside. Now, it's not just a do as I do session where I click on this, you click on this. No, but it's a session where ideas are being shared. For example, the facilitator could say something like, I noticed in the news this morning that the United States of America is about to increase interest rates, or that Nigeria, the Central Bank of Nigeria, is about to increase interest rates due to recession of the US, because right now there are claims that the US is going to get into a recession. And if the US gets into a recession, the next thing the government usually does is to increase interest rates. So that's by increasing interest rates, they reduce the rate of borrowing. Okay, they reduce the rate of borrowing, thereby leading to more worth of cash. Like the cash in hand is going to be worth more because they are reducing the amount of money. Anyways, it's economics. You get to learn all of that when you join Claudia, right? So let's say the facilitators, like I saw from the news that the US is going to plunge into a recession, and I know based on these, I feel interest rates are going to be increased. So I can tell you that due to the increase in interest rates, is going to lead to an increase in the dollar. Even though in the recession, as soon as the increase in interest rate is going to lead to an increase in the dollar. And this is what I think we should do. Then you, on the other hand, might say, oh, yes, I saw that, but I also saw something else. Okay. Oh, I also saw something else. I saw that this is not just a normal recession, that this recession is like the Great Depression of the 1960s. If you follow the lots of news, you know of the Great Depression, right? This is like the Great Depression of the 1960s, and I don't think the dollar is going to increase. This is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think we're going to do. And so I just come together, and then we think of agree on the best course of action before we go ahead to lock in that trade. Because, yeah, that is the way to go. So you want to be able to think for yourself and not just doing things without understanding what you are doing. Understanding is very, very key. So that's for the live trading analysis. And then you have navigating financial investments, where you have experts, financial experts, joining sessions and educating you on the best ways to invest your money. Remember, I talked about having a diversified portfolio, very, very important. You don't want all your money to be in savings. You don't want all your money to be in crypto. You want to be able to spread things across, okay, depending on your risk appetite and also different factors. So you have the sessions so you are able to succeed, because that's what is going to give you success. You being able to diversify things, you've been able to have different eggs in different baskets. That's what is going to give you success. That's navigating financial investment. And then you have the market rundown. The market rundown, where you have probably that week you've been very tired, so you've been going to work and you've not been able to actually take a look at the market news to understand what's happening, to carry out your analysis. So the market rundown is sessions where we have done all of the we've taken a look at the market. We're telling you this is what the market said this week. Oh, this week there was this news somewhere, just in case you were not able to follow up. So based on what you've heard, you can go ahead to maybe make a trade or two, depending on your decision, right? So the market's rundown will tell you everything that happened in the markets that week. So in case if maybe you're not able to carry out your own research, right? And then of course the alumni community, a community that makes sense. As I always say, a community that makes sense. Where as soon as you're done with all of this, you get to be a part of the community where we constantly keep having sessions to ensure that you are doing well. And of course, you also have access to the experts at any time. Okay, at any time. Because once you register for one of our programs, you actually have lifetime access to the materials, and you also have lifetime access to the experts as well, that's to the facilitators, and that's something I'm sure that you don't want to miss. So next quarter is actually going to begin on the 6th of June. 6th of June, that's our next quarter, just a couple of weeks from now. Okay, so and for you to be a part of the next quarter, all you have to do is to register. Okay, and the registration fee at the moment is 50,000. That's 50,000 naira for the Forex analyst program, or for the sport analyst program. But right now we are running a 20% discount. 20% discount for the first 20 persons to register, where you get to pay 40,000 instead. So instead of 50,000, you get to pay 40,000 instead. That's only if you're part of the first 20 persons to register. Okay, so for you to actually register, my colleague will send. Great. So my colleague has sent the payments link to the chat box. So once you click on that link, it's going to take you over to the Clanion registration hub. And once you get to the Clanion registration hub, over here you see where you can chat with Clanion. So maybe you're having any issues making payments, or you have a question or two, so you can easily just click on these to chat with Clanion, and you can get access to our program brochures. So the program brochures contains everything that you're going to be learning from point A to point Z in the Forex program and the sports program. So you also want to take a look at the brochures for you to have an understanding of everything you're going to get from A to Z. And then you see that discount is currently running. So once you scroll down, you see where you can visit store. So by clicking on visit store, it brings you over to this point where you get to select the program that you want to go for. If you want to go for the sports analyst or for the Forex analyst, you go ahead to click on that. So this is going to open up. So yes, the discount is still running. You can see it's currently 40,000. This is going to move back to the original amount very, very soon. So over here, you go ahead to click on secure your seat. And by clicking on secure your seat, it brings you to this point where you insert your details. And after inserting your details, you click on proceed. So once you click on proceed, a pop-up would appear where you insert your if you want to pay via your card, or maybe you want to pay via your transfer, so you can do all via transfer, so you can do all of that. So as soon as you make payment, a receipt will be sent to you via email, and on that receipt a link would also be attached telling you to click on that link to complete registration. So once you click on that link, you can either click on that link to complete your registration, or you can come back here to click on upload your receipts. Okay, you can either click on the link via the email that will be sent to you, or you can come back here and click on upload your receipts. So you fill in the form, you upload your receipts, and as soon as you do that, you get a confirmation email from us confirming your payment with your program kit. Your program kit contains everything that you need to be to get started in the program, from the link to join the Go Classroom, to the link to join the WhatsApp community, to the different videos guiding you on how you can download the tools that you're going to be working with, and how you can also sign up on the applications that applications that you're going to be working while you wait for the very first class. Okay, and also the welcome message and all of that. So that's what you'll be getting. So yeah, I guess that will be it for now. I'll be taking questions. So if you have any question, you can just use the raise hand icon. You can use the raise hand icon if you have a question, and I'll take a question quickly, and we'll call it a day. Okay, so if you have a question, all you need to do, just use the raise hand icon. Okay, just like I did, and I'll call on you to ask your question. Okay, so it seems no question. So if you have any question at any time, all you need to do, you can always send the message to any of the admins on the community, and of course a response will be provided. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. Ensure you register as quickly as possible, because you don't want to procrastinate, and something that we tell our kids all the time, I'll be telling you too, and that is quick says the clock. Whatever you have to do, ensure you do quick. Cheers.